Hey everybody, welcome. You are now tuning in to what I'm going to refer to as a retail therapy haul. This is the kind of haul that happens at like 11 o'clock at night after the kids are in bed. You're logging on thinking you're only going to get false eyelashes, but you just kind of start digging through the whole website and picking out some other things. And you don't feel too guilty about it because everything on the site is very affordable. This is iKateHouse. This is a website I've ordered from quite a few times actually. They've got a number of affordable brands that you might not see in drugstores, and then some that you do. Like, for example, I think they sell Milani on this site. They also have like a huge selection of false eyelashes and palettes and stuff. So anyway, I came for the lashes. I ended up with a lot of other things, and it honestly did feel rather therapeutic. So I'm gonna jump in and talk about the lip products. I really wanna let you know what's happening here with the lips. I think it's Nicka K or Nicka K. They're whipped lip glosses, and judging by just the name, the description, I thought maybe I would end up with something that was a lot like those L'Oreal Pro Matte glosses that I'm loving so much right now. And I got them home, and instantly putting them on the lips, I thought, yes, this feels just like those. Oh, but alas, they started to dry down. Yes, I said alas. Major liquid lipstick style dry down. These are called lip glosses. They are not lip glosses. They are liquid lipsticks. They dry to a point where you're gonna feel just a little bit sticky. Like if I let my lips press together, there's like that cling where they're actually sticking to each other. And then you start to get a patchy look because when they stick, they pull from either the top or bottom lip. Maybe it's showing on camera, maybe it isn't, but it's a little bit patchy here on the lower lip. And it's strictly because as you press your lips together or you talk, like it's pulling a little bit from one lip to the next. So these are not worth it, although I do kind of like the colors. The one I'm wearing today is Russet, and the dry down does darken these up considerably. But I think it's kind of a cool shade. And I also got Redwood, and Redwood is a little more rosy, like less peanut buttery. You know, it is going to dry down just a bit darker than that. I mean, they're pretty colors, but it's just the thought of it being a lip gloss is kind of misleading, and the texture does not feel nice. Okay, what else did I get? Let's talk about the false lashes. I love a Red Cherry number 43 false lash, and there are actually a lot of brands that make what I believe is that exact same style, and these lashes, I got them for like, I think $1 or $1.99, and the brand is the Creme Shop number 43, so this is what they sell on iKateHouse that's just like the Red Cherry 43s. I'm wearing another pair of those right now so you can see them on. I think they're a beautiful lash. Like they frame my eye shape really nicely. There's a good amount of length to them on the outside. You can see they're pretty tapered in on the insides, but I do think that makes them blend kind of nicely with your natural lashes. So I got 2 sets of those, and then I got these Cherry Blossom 523s. And here's the deal with these. These stay longer on the inner corner. However, as a whole, I think they're shorter. These appear that they might be longer, but I am pretty sure these 43s like extend out a little further, and I can just see it when I get them on my eyes. I'm gonna be coming back for these, so that was a great deal, and I really like that lash style. And the bands are nice on these too. I've always struggled with e.l.f.'s false eyelashes because I just feel like, you know, no matter how I work them around and bend them and kind of prep them for my eyes before I put them on, they're still just all over the place. These are really nice, and after like 1 or 2 wears, they're totally going to just sit right on your eyes where they need to go. I got a few things from LA Girl. These blushes, I really like these blushes. The one that I had before is called Just Playful, so a neutral kind of blush. I think they're selling these on Ulta.com as well, but these are nice, just full colored matte blushes. I've got a little bit of the Just Playful kind of right here on the apple of the cheek, although I'm getting a tidbit washed out on camera today. I think it's like the darkness of the hair and the eye, and then my skin is looking like way lighter on camera than it is in person. But I got 2 more shades, and they turned out to be really bright, like even brighter than I was anticipating. Hey, here's a novel idea. Let's just open them up, and then you won't have all that glare on top of the color. This color here is Just Pinched, so a really rosy pink type shade, and I've got that actually right in this zone of my cheek. And then this is a really fresh pink called Just Kissed. When I was mentioning, what was it, in one of the Too Faced palettes, the set of 3, there was a really hot pink blush in one of those, and I was like, you know, I find this kind of hard to work with. It was a hot pink, but it was kind of like a, I don't know, a deep magenta pink. And this one, in contrast, is a lighter hot pink. I find this shade very easy to work with on the cheeks. It gives a really nice flush, just a very healthy look, easy to sort of blend into your skin and make it work. But that one in the Too Faced palette, it was a deeper hot pink, and I found that a bit of a struggle for my skin tone, but might not be so bad for a deeper skin tone. This, oh, it's gorgeous. It's a great shade. Think in from the cold type of flush on the cheeks. I love that, but these are really nice. And then if you like something a little more neutral, I mean, let me just pop this one on. Again, this is the one I already had, but it's coming back to life for me in this video. Like just a little neutral, easy, works great with this kind of color scheme I've got on my skin right now. Definitely something you want to look into if you want a nice pigmented blush, and the shade range was huge, so lots to choose from. And then I realized, oh, they've got these iLux little quads here from LA. Is it LA Girl or LA Colors? This is LA Girl. I always confuse the two brands, but I got this one in Energize, and I got it kind of realizing there wouldn't be a ton of contrast between these colors, like nothing's overly dark in here. But you look at the swatches, they're very, very smooth. It's a nice buttery feeling formula. You got this like matte peach, and then varying degrees of kind of like bronzy rose gold. I dig it. I haven't done a look with this yet, but I'm going to. I just wanted to throw that out there. And then I got 2 larger palettes. I'm going to start with the smaller of the 2, and it's the one that I am wearing on my eyes today. Yeah, I have full-on red on my lids, and I saw this on the website and could not turn it down for, I think, $5.99. It's again from that Nicka K brand, and it says Perfect 23. Perfect 23 matte colors. And as soon as I glanced at it, I started thinking of my Viseart like dark matte palette. Just seeing this spread of colors, it made me think that. And then the first time I opened it, I busted one of the sides. Like, I will take ownership of this. This was operator error, but I made that little thing pop off there. So I'm sorry, palette, but it may not be the most expensive quality palette out there. I mean, $5.99. Oops. There's also a sponge tip taped in there too. We've got like 2 rows of matte neutrals, a row of super vivid, colorful shades here, and these are labeled blush on the back. To me, these are eyeshadows. I don't think I could see those colors working on my cheeks, but then some cool shadows here and like some sort of base highlight type shades over on this side, but they are mattes. While the color scheme might make me think Viseart, intensity-wise, you know, it's not really on par with that. As you look at the swatches, there are dark shades that, you know, should be going a little darker and more intense just as far as what the shade appears to be, but there's a lot of workable stuff going on in here. I mean, that red, the red that I've got on my lids today is probably the strongest shade in this palette, just intensity-wise. And I use this palette and this palette alone to get the look. I've got the red on my lid, and then I've got like some of this shade in the outer corner, some of this kind of mustardy shade blended out over the edge, some of the warm browns on the lower lash line, and I do see some shades kind of repeating themselves a little bit, like some really close colors in this top couple of rows. I'm not going to complain about it too much because this again was just a $5.99 eye palette, but even the subtle differences between the shades, as I was finding as I blended things out, it was kind of nice to very easily work from one shade into the next, you know, when they're really close like this. So it's kind of a cool palette, and you can definitely get some intense eye looks if you like the reds. The purples in here, while they seem like they're just screaming at you purple from the palette, they're not really that strong. And this shade, which one? This one right here is more of a pink, actually. But there are definitely some interesting color combinations you can get out of that one, and I was intrigued. You know, you're not getting world's greatest eyeshadow there, but you're getting some pretty good stuff. And then outside of the lashes, this might be my favorite thing. I got one of these Cara palettes, or Cara. Let me know in the comments section if you tried anything from this brand. This is like a $15 palette. I got the ES06 35 color eyeshadow palette. Why can't they just give these a name? Why can't we just call it like Fall Fun Times, or I don't know. But I got this palette because I thought this is doing some things that the Anastasia Beverly Hills subculture palette is doing. You know, it's got some dark like teal type colors, working in some greens, some real orangey shades, some mustardy yellows. There's all kinds of finishes in here too. We go from matte to ultra metallic, like really bright metallic shades, to a little bit softer shimmery finishes. And look at the reds down here too. I probably could have gotten this very same look that I'm wearing right now out of this palette, and I think the quality is actually surprisingly good in here. I did a look with this the other day. I thought the mattes blended really nicely, very evenly. They were what I would have expected, you know, intensity wise out of some of the darker ones, and the mid-tones really showed up well too. And lately, as I said in my Lorac video, although that palette was kind of the exception to this, but I'm more into smaller palettes, you know, palettes that don't give me a lot of unnecessary shades and just a lot of colors to sift through. I'm appreciating these days more small palettes where every color is important and has its place. This is a larger palette, and there might be some shades in here that are honestly pretty close to one another. Then you kind of remind yourself, oh yeah, it's $15, and the quality is surprisingly nice. So a very like fall, winter, rich type palette. If you like the warm colors, you might be really into this. I noticed there was a lot to choose from though, from this line on iKateHouse, like different color schemes. And it makes me think of Coastal Scents, which puts out some nice quality, inexpensive stuff too, but I think maybe what makes these palettes a little more special in my eyes is just the color configuration. May or may not have been inspired by the Subculture palette, but it's not just like, okay, here are warm neutrals, just the full spectrum across the board with nothing else thrown in. Like they put in a plum, a teal, a couple of greens, some really reddish shades, a few taupes sprinkled in there. So it's kind of a little more unique for that reason, but I like that. I like it a lot. So guys, that concludes my retail therapy haul. If you've ever shopped on iKateHouse, I would love to know like what are some hidden gems on that site that you really enjoy. For me, I think the false eyelashes are great. There's some nice products from LA Girl on there, and that Cara palette is really good stuff. So thank you for your time. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.